What is up, guys? One Piece chapter 1066 is finally out. Shout out to TCV Scans for the translation and for doing the God's work. You guys fucking legends. So go check them out, leave the links in the description down below. Boy, oh boy. We wanted lore piece? We are getting lore piece for real. Whoo! Golly. I mean, like, I feel like a broken record saying this every single chapter for the past 8-9 chapters now that Oda is just on fire. Like, it's hot. Like, hot and hot and hot. Can we get much higher? So high, so high. Whoo! God damn. Like, let's just get into it, guys. Much to discuss, and I'm really excited for this chapter. I love this chapter. One Piece chapter 1066, The Will of Ohara. So, 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛𝚒𝚐𝚑𝚝 Cold-Blooded Voyage is back for this chapter, volume 23. Returning to Germa with company. So, as we all know already that the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛 the kids of 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛 basically escaped the whole cake island together with Caesar the Clown, and they are finally back to the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛 base, as we can see here. So something to note here is that we know that Judge and Caesar used to be partners in research partners, basically. So who knows what they're gonna be, what's gonna happen, or what they're gonna be up to once they reunite. Maybe a reunion of some sort. So that's interesting. So that's something to keep in mind. Not a lot of things happening in here besides the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛 coming back to the base. So that's it for that one. So let's just get straight into the chapter. It pretty much continues from the last chapter at the end. With Vegapunk Shaka explaining what he meant about the Egghead Island being originally an island of distant past. We got Shaka explaining about an archaeologist who was basically very passionate about discovering the ancient kingdom and how it was related to Ohara, or this archaeologist is related to Ohara. So based from this knowledge alone, we can safely assume that he is specifically talking about Professor Clover, one of the scholars of Ohara and one of the greatest archaeologists of all time. So Vegapunk Shaka continues on to explain about the Void Century being a conflict between the ancient kingdom as well as the alliance of the 20 kingdoms, or the 20 kings that allied themselves, that we know became the world government. So they allied themselves to destroy the ancient kingdom, to betray the ancient kingdom. And eventually they succeeded, and as part of their plan is they wanted to erase all the traces of the history of the ancient kingdom. And as we all know already, he basically confirms it as well. Everyone that finds out about this history and what happened at Ohara basically gets eliminated. So I also recently made a video discussing a void century theory that I discovered from Reddit, discussing more about like the ancient kingdom and the history of Void Century and what may have happened during this time against the the ancient kingdom, as well as the 20 kingdoms, or as we all know, the world government. So I'll gonna be here or somewhere here, but so check it out if you guys want after this video. Thank you so much. But going back to the chapter, Vegapunk continues to mention that even though he is part of the world government, the topic of Void Century is still a very sensitive one, or a very it shall not be discussed type of things. Very limited people, only the higher ups, or basically the Gorosei and Im-sama and a couple of people that in the government knows about this. And he also confirms that the fact that he knows he will probably get eliminated or get erased just for telling them this information, which is interesting because we know that the CP0 agents are on the way to Egghead Island to eliminate Vegapunk on the orders of the world government. So he probably saw this coming, hence he decides to just let it all out, tell a story to the Straw Hats because of his alliance with Dragon as well. So he has nothing to lose for, so he just has to do this now. So knowing that he is gonna get eliminated, or someone is gonna come for his life. So Going back, we know that we get a flashback of Vegapunk, Professor Clover, and what happened at Ohara, and and he explains why the will of Ohara will live on. We already know that Ohara was wiped by the world government using Buster Call on the orders of the world government, and because obviously the scholars and the residents of this country was studying Void Century, the poneglyphs, which was prohibited by the world government because they don't want to find out what they did back in the Void Century. Because they want to keep it quiet. They want to keep it down low because it's brutal. It's full of history, and it will definitely open up a lot of the eyes of the people if this is like exposed to the wider world of One Piece. So, um, after a few months after the incident on Ohara, Vegapunk decides to visit the island, and obviously and discovers a massive, like huge amount of books in covering the lake, and which is basically like all the information, all the treasure trove of knowledge by the scholars of Ohara. Uh, he explains that they knew how important this is to the history of the world, and basically made a gamble that the Marines would just ignore this, won't find out about all the books in this on this lake, and it worked out because they know that someone else will be carrying the legacy of Ohara, or the will of Ohara, as they say as well. So more flashback as well. Continuing with the flashback with Robin's mother as well. During the incident, and basically it reiterates the importance of history and how it is the greatest treasure that must be preserved. So that kind of just reinforces that idea that like what we've discovered, what we know, will be an integral part to moving forward with history, or discovering the secrets of the history, to get that freedom that they all wanted. So Shaka continues to explain that he obviously wasn't able to take the books to his back to Punk Hazard because that's where he was stationed back then. Because it's red hot for him. He's part of the world government, and knowing if they find out that he took the books and all the information here, he's probably gonna get killed. He knows that. He needs to be down low, just relax. He doesn't want to make a big name for himself in a way that it might attract the big dogs of the world government. So um, while this is while he then we find out that eventually when he came to the island, the a few giants came into this island as well, who started taking all the books from the island. So well, pretty much like the same idea that he wanted, but giants were doing this instead. And while this is happening, a young monkey D. Dragon started to show up, and finally seeing Dr. Vegapunk's face in the flashback, and oh my lord, I just gotta say, this is so goofy. It's just so goofy, big head ass Einstein looking like Jimmy Neutron. Oh my god, like it's so funny, but at the same time, like it's so funny that it's out there. Like this science is just like crazy insane, but at the same time, it's Oda. He just does this. He just does these things. Like he just does these crazy designs, and like I'm not even mad. Like it's funny, but it's so good. And I actually never thought about Vegapunk being the greatest researcher of alive of all time in this universe will look like look like Albert Einstein. He even had the sign of the tongue as well. In comparison to a photo of Albert Einstein with his tongue out as well. So it's just crazy. I was thinking of more like sinister looking old man, but this is goofy old man looking big head ass motherfucker. But just funny. It's just funny. But continuing on, guys. The meeting between Vegapunk and Dragon basically confirms what we recently find out, that him and Dragon are acquaintances, and they both knew Professor Clover, in a way because he is like the greatest archaeologist. He made a name for himself as well, and Dragon explains to Vegapunk why the giants came. That the giants taking all these books from the lake came from Elbaf, on the orders of their captain, who is apparently wrapped from head to toe with bandages. So I think we can easily assume that if this is after the incident of O'Hara, this most likely is Seoul. Seoul, you know that the giant that Ayukuji froze before and during the incident at O'Hara. So guys, like I think it is more not later. Just put that on the side for now. So more a little bit more background on Dragon and Vegapunk's relationship and how Vegapunk apparently didn't join Dragon's so-called group, the Freedom Fighters. That's such a cheesy name though. Freedom Fighters to Revolutionary Army eventually. But obviously we gotta wait for the official release if that is the actual name, Freedom Fighters, or maybe like a different name. So we just gotta wait that out. But yes, before the Revolutionary Army, it was the Freedom Fighters. Seems like Dragon though, like has always been sort of like a freedom fighter or a revolutionary. So I guess we will find out uh, more on his story as well on why he became a freedom fighter. So something to keep in mind as well. But we also find out that Vegapunk, the reason that Vegapunk decided to join the world government instead of being a world freedom fighter revolutionary army is because he knows that the world government can fund all his research, and he also explained that like the world government is not all that bad. There is some decent people here that can be reasoned with, which is true. With Kirby, Kazan, and plenty other people in the government organization that doesn't agree completely with what they stand on, when they stand with the organization. So, we also get a bit more clarity on when the Revolutionary Army was officially created, which was a year after the incident on O'Hara, and part of the motivation of Dragon was to protect the will of O'Hara and Clover's research and move forward with what they found out. They don't want the world government to have this not be punished for what they did to O'Hara. So that's interesting as well. Now eventually, obviously Vegapunk being a researcher himself first, before anything, he needed to find out what these books, what like the information about this book. See, he came to Elbaf and started to read each and every one of books and memorize it and consume it and memorize it onto his head. Um, he memorized all the secrets of the scholars of O'Hara, the history of the world, and now he's the one that continuing the will of O'Hara. So back to Seoul, Robin, after hearing the captain of the Elbaf, and he she assumed basically that is this Seoul? Is this Seoul the captain? But obviously, Vegapunk didn't really confirm anything here. He just mentions that he's not sure. He didn't completely mention that it is so because he went into the hiding. But because it kind of makes sense that he went into the hiding because he came from O'Hara as well. If the world government finds out that he is actually alive, then obviously they're gonna attack Elbaf as well. So I think it's safe to assume though that it is so right now. Wow, but like obviously there's so much information in this chapter. It's just crazy. Lore piece, lore piece, lore piece. But there's just we kind of just have to. So, guys, let's continue on. Back to Luffy and the crew. We get the crew rediscovering the massive giant robot from last chapter as well. And Luffy and Chopper being themselves is trying to ride this robot, trying to make it boom. And at one point, bada bing, bada boom, bap, we get Dr. Vegapunk finally showing up, stuck on the robot, and Luffy having to rescue him eventually, and Dr. Vegapunk explaining and that he was basically expecting Luffy, and good job for him for making it this far, for making it to this island, because he knew that he is the son of Dragon, and he wants something to Luffy. Like, I mean, he wants Luffy to be here because he has a business with Luffy, and of course Bonnie, being Bonnie, with the relationship with Kuma and Vegapunk, he remembers Bonnie as well. But yeah, like kind of just makes sense. And then we end the chapter with basically them just a goofy end of the chapter with them flying, using their powered up boots. So that's pretty cool to end the chapter. So, but damn. This was a lot. This is just longer than most chapter reviews that I have done, but I feel like it is very well needed. Had to go through each and every detail during this chapter. So guys, lore piece. What do you guys think about this One Piece chapter 1066, The Wheel of O'Hara? Is this what you guys were expecting? is this exceeded your expectations? Did you guys have predictions that was the same as what happened in this chapter? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll appreciate it, guys. But yes, all I can say is I bloody love this chapter, and we are about to get more, higher, 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 higher. Anyway, I'll stop blabbing it for now. Watch out for more videos. I might do a bit more detailed breakdown on the chapter, on what happened on the chapter later on this week or next week. But guys, don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Much appreciated. If you do, appreciate your support, guys. Please help me get to 50 subscribers if you can, or maybe into 100 if I can. But guys, this is it from me for now. This is your boy KennyV signing off. Peace out. Peace. See ya.